Hello, good day, ma'am, and fellow classmates. Today I will be discussing the similarities and difference between the Netherlands and Japan in terms of their childbirth practice, parenting styles, wedding rites, dining etiquette, work ethics, family orientation, and burial customs. Both Dutch and Japanese women prefer not to use painkillers during childbirth. They both as well are assisted by midwives the entire time of pregnancy until the actual delivery. When it comes to their differences, Dutch women can decide whether they want to give birth at home or at a hospital. However, a big percentage shows that a home delivery is a more popular option than a hospital delivery. Japanese women, on the other hand, have since been doing childbirth at a hospital only. In terms of their similarities, I only found one thing that they share, and that is being outdoors and enjoying the nature. With the Dutch culture, they encourage the kids at a young age to bike and play outside. And with the Japanese parenting culture, being outdoors and in the nature pleases them because it is somehow a bond for them where they can discipline and share the same ideals with the children. For their differences, the Japanese culture teach the children to be independent even at a young age, leading them to being pressured about their education, which is totally opposite to the Dutch, because they strongly believe in not pushing their children too hard and that the children would be bored at school and not have any friends if the parents themselves educate their child. The Dutch and Japanese people share one thing when it comes to wedding rites, and that is having an option for an extravagant wedding. Now, talking about their differences, wedding rites in the Netherlands have two ceremonies. The first ceremony being a civil marriage, then followed by a traditional church ceremony. Because according to the Dutch civil code, it is prohibited to perform a sacramental marriage without first having a civil marriage. It is also a tradition to them that during marriages that there must be a Dutch wishing tree. It is a collection of branches, ribbon, and leaves where guests can share their wishes in a visual way. Another tradition for them as well is serving a herring at the reception because for them a herring is a staple of Dutch cuisine. Now in Japan, a traditional ceremony for them is a Shinto style, hosted at a shrine and performed by a Shinto priest. The ceremony itself is formal and normally takes place in a private setting. It is also a tradition for them during a Shinto style wedding where the groom and bride perform an exchange of nuptial cups filled with sake, where they drink 3 times each, that symbolizes the exchanging of their marriage vows. For both Japan and the Netherlands, it is a tradition for them to eat with the family together. They also consider talking while eating and not consuming the food as disrespectful acts. However, when it comes to their differences, in Japan it is a tradition that they use chopsticks, while the Dutch mainly use a knife for the right hand and fork for the left hand. When it comes to work ethics, both the Dutch and Japanese are honest, hardworking people, and they are also very respectful to their colleagues and superiors. However, Japan is known for having long working hours. Some even of the employees are underpaid despite the numerous times of overtime, which is totally opposite to the Netherlands, because the Netherlands is most known for their great work-life balance. Not only are they known for being the country with a relaxed work ethic, but also a happier country overall. When it comes to greeting their colleagues, shaking hands is the proper way they do it in the Netherlands. In Japan, people greet each other by bowing. Like most all cultures, including the Dutch and Japanese, it is a tradition that the parents are the heads of the family, and they determine the rules in the household. Now, when it comes to their differences, in Japan, the father spends little time with his children because he commutes to his full-time job and returns home late or only on weekends, which makes sense as to what I mentioned earlier about the work ethic in Japan where they always have long working hours. In comparison to the Netherlands, where the parents, especially fathers, have shorter work hours, resulting to more time at home and greater involvement in sharing parenting responsibilities. During funerals, it is a tradition to both the Dutch and Japanese culture to wear dark-colored clothing to reflect their mourning, and they both as well may choose between cremation and burial. But nowadays, according to statistics, majority of the Dutch people and Japanese are cremated because of the lack of burial space. And cremation is basically a cheaper option compared to being buried. As for funeral music, Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli and Sarah Brightman is the most popular funeral song in the Netherlands, while in the Japanese culture, they play a koto music, koto being a traditional instrument known as the Japanese harp.